Time to sell your home. Predicting Las Vegas real estate on this month's Robnostication from June, late June, all the way through July. And one thing you won't be saying is, Rob, July. Because I ain't no liar, folks. I ain't no liar. And what I got for you is some straight truth. It's the good, the bad, the ugly. All of what you need to know about what's coming next in Las Vegas real estate. If you like what I have to say, I hope you stick with me and subscribe to this channel. There's a lot more where this came from. Every week I have an update about what's happening. I like to throw in my 7-day market update, which I think helps us understand exactly where things are, especially when it comes to inventory. So if you want to know the nuts and bolts of what's happening with Las Vegas real estate, you found the right channel. If you're already on here, you already knew that, didn't you? All right, check it out on the other side. I got a bunch. Let's get it going. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for joining me. I am Rob Howell with Elite Realty. I am a realtor in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you didn't know that, now you know that. And now you know how, when you're looking to sell or buy your home, which is what we're going to talk about, I think it's time to sell your home if you're in certain circumstances. So I'm going to talk about that. And if this matches up with you, well, maybe you need to consider that now is a great time to sell. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's start off with a Robnostication. Number one, we're going to talk about the inventory. And, you know, I thought that inventory might be picking up just for a second. On my 7-day market updates that I do, there was 1 week, about 2 weeks ago, that was looking like there was a change in the tide. Just a little bit, you know, the numbers were moving up a little bit. Looked like we might get some more inventory. Well, inventory is going to stay low, folks. The way that I've been seeing it, and I will get into that update later on in this video, but the way that I've been seeing it, that's a Robnostication that I'm going to call right now and say that inventory is going to stay low. It was at 1.6 months of supply. I'm going to say it's going to stay right around there, maybe drop even a little bit. That's how busy things have been. That's how little has been coming on market as far as new inventory. The inventory is the story, as I've been saying for months and really for a long time, but now it's just, you know, in Las Vegas, it is what we have to pay attention to, because if that inventory goes up, it's going to be a great time for buyers to get in and to, you know, negotiate with sellers. Right now, sellers, if you've got a good property, you've got it priced like it should be, you don't have to negotiate too much. And that's why I'm saying it's time to sell. If you're in a situation like where you have a property that you need to sell, now, I'm not talking about those folks that might have a 3% mortgage and are sitting pretty and don't want to exchange it for a higher interest rate. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody maybe that needs to leave town or has already left town, has a property that they are considering selling, and maybe you're sitting on your hands a little bit, okay? I wouldn't do that. I would go ahead and take this summer. This is what we're looking at. The next 60 days, at least, maybe 90 days, 60 to 90 days, going to be good for sellers if the inventory remains low, like I think it will, and like I'm prognosticating that it will. So if I'm a seller, I want to jump in when there's not enough inventory. When my house comes up and I look around the neighborhood, and when I look at the sales, the comparable properties that might be on market and the ones that have sold, there's just very little. And that's what's happening in most neighborhoods in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's why I say what I'm saying. Demand is staying steady enough to keep up with the supply. It is low, it's historically speaking, as far as, you know, generally speaking, the demand is low. We're not talking about big numbers of lots and lots of buyers coming in like we saw, you know, last year in spring. We're talking about enough buyers, and those buyers, they're serious. They want to get this done. They want to get themselves settled into a new property. And so they're serious. They're serious buyers. Some of them are trying to deal shop still, but they're not having a successful time. When there's not enough inventory, it's a little harder to deal shop. Look, I think this might continue. So if you're a buyer, you have to make a consideration. Well, I'm either going to wait till maybe a more historically slow time, which is towards the end of the year, and purchase, or I'm going to get in there and make it happen as soon as possible. And you may, as a buyer, want to make it happen sooner than later because of some of the next things I'm going to tell you. Prices are on the rise. Okay, another reason why a seller should be happy to sell in this market. It's not as if it's going through the roof, but they are on the rise. The last 2 months, they went up over 17,000 on the median price. And I expect another Robnostication coming right at you. I expect another value jump in the median priced properties for single family homes. That I think will happen, and condos. I think condo townhouses should be moving up. There just haven't been enough, and there's been a little competition. And so that creates a higher median. And so you're seeing a little higher prices. The additional piece to the puzzle, if I'm a buyer right now, that I have to weigh is interest rates may rise. Now, they held off, the Fed held off on raising interest rates, as many know, in June. But will they do that in July? They're talking about 2 more rate hikes before the year's end. And they're talking about holding, regardless of what they do, at where they've been or where they go to. So this is the concern that I have if I'm a buyer, is that I might have to pay higher interest rates. And, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. Now, will it be super significant? The significant movements have already happened. So we're talking, what they're probably talking about is a quarter point and then 1 more quarter point. So a total of a half a point on the interest rate. So it's not killer, considering we've already had several movements that were the killer. That was hard to take, but now some smaller movements wouldn't be as bad. It's just, who wants to do that? Who wants to pay more for your interest if you don't have to? And so you got a window here. Now, as a seller, you got to keep this in mind too, because will this finally affect buyers enough to drop the activity even more than what it is, and then start building up inventory as we go into the end of the year? That's a very strong possibility that we see a strong summer, but then we sort of flatten out and maybe even start pulling back as the year ends. It's a possibility. I want you to check out the next Robnostication, which will be next month, of course, in July, maybe about 3 weeks from now. I usually do them about 3 or 4 weeks apart. Those rate movements, here's the question mark. Are they going to make those rate movements? Well, if the country was like Las Vegas is right now, there would be no doubt in my mind that we would be seeing interest rate movements going up. Okay, but the entire country is not like Las Vegas, and some places are hurting more than others. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are leaving those places to come to a place like Las Vegas. And while we're the benefactors of that, those states and areas that they're leaving are not benefiting. They're actually having a harder time there. So that will be one of the factors that goes into the Fed's decision, I think. They are stubborn about what they're doing, and I think they're going to hold them for a much longer period than I originally thought and was hoping. I think some of it is, I'll be honest, it was hopium. You get a little hopium in your veins, and you're hoping that they won't keep raising rates. And then actually when they do, that they'll drop them sooner than later. I think a lot of people were hoping, and even the stock market was at one point pricing it in, that they would drop rates during the summer. I don't see that happening. That's not in the cards right now. So Vegas stays strong. Vegas stays strong the next 90 days. And I'm going to give you the piece of the puzzle as to why on the 7-day right now, the 7-day market watch is so very important in my mind to finding out what is happening in the last 7 days. I'm recording this on June 24th. It's a Saturday right now, and I'm recording this now. So the 7 days prior to today is what we're looking at, is what's happened. Okay. this adds up to, as each week we add them all up, and then we see what happens at the end of the month. You can kind of get a feel for what's going on just by doing this. Last week we had, let's see, we had new and back on market and coming soon listings, or 1,037. This week we have gone down considerably to 918. 918. So this is where I'm getting my information from as far as why I think we are going to see some tighter numbers when it comes to inventory. Inventory either staying low where it's at 1.6 months of supply, or lower. Okay, we had a brief jump, but it was so minor. It was just a little blip, and now the last couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, have been up again. So when I take a look at what is going away from the buyers right now, the inventory is, when we're talking about under contract, show, under contract, no show, expired, temporarily off the market, withdrawn conditional, and contingent upon sale, which is a new designation. I'll go over that one more time with you. We have 1,142 last week, and this week we have 1,157. So more by a little, but nonetheless, when we combine the fact that that's inventory moving away from you, and non-accessible inventory, not really viable for you, and then we have less new listings and coming soon available, that tells me that inventory is going to be a problem, especially when we combine it with this. You're thinking, well, maybe the sales have been really low. Well, last week it was 684. This week it was 648. A little bit lower, but staying around the same number. So we're not seeing a sudden drop, like a really big drop. That's been around where it's been the last few weeks. So, unless those numbers like next week just suddenly change, that's what we're looking at when we get into July's numbers. You can assure yourself that what I'm telling you, this is correct. There was a moment there where I was looking at the price increases, and there were far less of them. But now they're ticking back up to over 100. There's 101 price increases. Price decreases did go up to 515. So there are those properties out there that aren't moving, and the sellers are finally saying, let's drop the price a little bit. This is normal because many sellers come on market too high. They're just hoping for the world, and especially with low inventory and stuff. And then they get told, the market tells them what's up. And so they have to drop the price. Many of these price increases are purposeful. They'll put it on the market, get multiple offers, and then increase the price to the top offer price. That's one strategy that you can use. Also, when properties come back on market, because as we can see, there's always back on market properties, they do sometimes go, you know what, my property was on the market a month and a half, 2 months ago, or whatever it was, and then we fell out of escrow, and now I think my property is more valuable based on what's happened in the market, based on how much activity I got when I accepted that original offer. I want a little bit more. So sometimes they do that. Okay, this number would start, the price increases would not be going up if the sellers weren't feeling like they can do that. Okay, I'll just mention the contingent upon sales. They were 25, now they went down to 18. There's not only 18, but there are few. Sellers are not excited to accept contingent upon sales, which means that your offer to them is contingent upon selling your property first. A lot of agents don't know about this designation, so there are more of them than that, but nonetheless, the fact that you're not seeing more pile on there tells me that a lot of people are not getting their contingencies accepted by sellers. That's what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to know more. Say hello to me in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if I'm doing a good job for you. If you're getting the gist of where I'm going, I know some of what I do is a little repeat, but look, if the information's the same, or if we're on the same track, I have to give you the same information and make sure that everybody that's new that's coming to the channel is getting that information as well. I do find it very important Do you think it's important? Am I on the wrong track? Is there something that I'm missing that you would like to tell me? I would love to hear from you. Regardless, folks, there's one last request that I have from you, and it's always the same, and that is to have a fantastic week. I'll see you on the next video. Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. And remember, I'm Rob Howe. I'm all about houses and you.